This lesson is on using the not operator. The not operator is used to get the negative of something, a negation. If I'm looking for something to be true, if I put a not in front of it, I'm looking for it to be not true. So let's take a look at this. Here's a real simple web page, and we have my name, and I have a list of cities: Chicago, Corbeil, and Toronto. So I say Chicago, I submit information. You don't live in the best city. All right, let's pick another one. Corbeil. I still don't live in the best city. Let's try Toronto. Toronto rocks. Okay, so that must be the best city. Let's take a look at the code. So this is the HTML. Nothing too special here, but we're using a select list, which we haven't used for a while. Named it city, gave it a size of 1, so I just saw one choice at a time. And the 3 options: Chicago, Corbeil, Toronto. Okay, now this is what the user sees. Remember, in here is the value of the selection. Now I made them the same, but I didn't have to. I could have used something else in there if I had some sort of city code or something that I wanted to process. But here right now, keeping it simple and having them be the same was the way to go for me. So let's go to the PHP file. Let's look at it over here. Let's look at the if statement, which is the main thing. If city not equal to Toronto, I don't live in the best city. That's simple enough. Any other city than Toronto, it'll work. I could have 20 cities there. If they're not Toronto, I don't live in the best city. Else, I print Toronto rocks. That's pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and look at a little problem that you can get into when you try to use a not and an or at the same time. So here's a new HTML file. This is the wrong way. I'm going to call it a wrong way program. That'll go over here. And let's look at the if statement here. Well, okay, I know that I've got 3 cities. We've got Chicago, Corbeil, Toronto. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure it's not Chicago or Corbeil. And then I'll know it's Toronto. Toronto rocks. Yay. Okay. Or I don't live in the best city. So let's go ahead and see how this code actually runs. Here's the wrong way. So I pick Chicago here. Well, it says Toronto rocks. Well, yes, it does, but I didn't expect that message. Corbeil? Toronto still rocks. Well, that's nice, but again, I thought I would get something else. Maybe I did it backwards. Let's check Toronto. Nope. Toronto rocks. No matter what I did, I got Toronto rocks back from the code. Let's look at this more carefully. Now, these negations can get tricky because when something is not true, it's true, which gets a little bit weird. So first time I went through, I picked Chicago. Is the city not equal to Chicago? False. The city was equal to Chicago. That's what I picked. All right, so that's a false. Let's look at the right side of the or. Is city not equal to Corbeil? True. It was Chicago. So it's not equal to Corbeil. Now remember that only one side of an or condition needs to be true for the whole thing to be considered as true. So that's all true because one side was true. Toronto rocks. Do it in reverse. I pick Corbeil. Is the city not equal to Chicago? True. It's not equal to Chicago. So again, just one side needs to be true. I don't even have to look at the other side. I know that Toronto rocks. What if it's Toronto? Is city not equal to Chicago? True. City is not equal to Chicago. It's Toronto. Again, true. So this always evaluates to true and is really risky. Let's look at a way we might have been able to rewrite this. I'm going to correct it. This is the HTML, and I'm pulling up a different file here, but everything else is the same with the cities. Now let's look at the code. This is where I could use not in a different way. I could first, within these parentheses, there's 2 sets of parentheses here, notice. Within there, I can ask the question positively. Is the city equal to Chicago? Or is the city equal to Corbeil? Well, if I pick Chicago or Corbeil, that would be true, right? That is true. But if I put this not symbol in it, I'm saying It's got to be everything but those two cities, which is what I really want here. So let's go ahead and test this out. This is the corrected code. So Chicago, you don't live in the best city. Corbeil, you don't live in the best city. Toronto, Toronto rocks. Okay, so that was another way to do it. I'm not saying that that was the best way to code this particular problem, but I wanted to illustrate how you can use a not to negate an entire positive condition.